This is an individual with Down syndrome, and we haven't talked about Down syndrome a lot here. And if you remember the movie Lorenzo Oil, and you see just what this mother got done with a few things that she added into the diet of her son. And I think you'll realize that you can regenerate anything when you get deeper. So her daughter has Down syndrome with thyroid issues. How interesting, right? Because you're going to see the pituitary involvement, you're going to see the thyroid, parathyroid involvements, you're going to see those things involved. But when you see tissue that is mutating or has been augmented, what's going on here? Even in a genetic line, you notice how cells are continuing to go down. So this is a mother with a daughter with Downs, the thyroid issues. We're going to pick up the whole endocrine glands. You're going to use upper circuit, brain and nerve, no question. At the same time, you're going after the adrenal glands with this Down syndrome, but you're going to go with all the syndromes. You're going to go with the adrenals and the kidneys, because where are we looking at that's breaking down tissue, that's augmenting cell morphology? Acids and the lymph system, always. We're always going to go to that system because the system is controlled by the adrenals and the kidneys, and therefore you see all the effects of the adrenals. Look up the adrenal glands and look up all the steroids and neurotransmitters the adrenals do and what they do, as much as we know anyway, and that'll give you some idea of just a few symptoms you can have when they're down. Yeah, this is a good mama. Here, apparently her blood test just came back and they now believe she has Hashimoto's as well. Well, Hashi this is all lymphatics here. If she gets a little goiter, that's all lymphatics, and that would suppress, and that would be a given. So you would also suppress pituitary function as well. So now you have your growth and your design of the body. There is some of that comes out of the adrenal glands as well. So you want to hit all the endocrine glands, no question. Make baby healthy, no matter how old, how young. Everything has to think about health, how to restore health to the cell, and now you have to think, okay, so what directly impacts the cell? Blood and lymphs. And then you have to go down that road that we went down video after video, so you guys will get a good handle on what you do. And it doesn't matter what the syndromes, it doesn't matter what you're dealing with here, to return health to tissue, it's so simple, is to detox that which is obstructing out of the body. And that includes neurotoxins, excitotoxins, heavy metals, it doesn't matter. But clean this person out here. They now increase her synthroid, see synthroid medication 250. You'll constantly increase, because being on this, of course, synthroid is going to just weaken the thyroid even more. At least, medical doctors, get into your glandulars. That'll put you a cut above your brethren, and maybe you'll get more popular and you won't hurt so many people by suppressing gland function. When someone with a syndrome like Downs, you don't suppress their glands, that's already the problem. Thank you, sweetheart. And listen, you can get this and bring your daughter out of this. And you can just see what little they did on Lorenzo Oil. You can just see what that mom did and what she could have done at this level of thinking. My 7-year-old daughter with Down syndrome has enlarged adenoids and tonsils. Well, you know, this is part of the mix of mutations, is the lymph system, not the blood. We're back into acidosis and that effect upon pituitaries, that effect upon everything. When you're getting into lymph nodes and the swelling of lymph nodes, tonsils and adenoids, just one of many, you know that's directly the lymph system. So again, going back to what I just talked about, always clean up the bowels and always get the kidneys and adrenals going. At the same time, with the Down syndrome, you're going to get up in that head with upper circuit, brain and nerve, and you can do some pituitary work on the young lad too, even 7 years old, and work this Down syndrome out of him. So we know that the lymph nodes are enlarged immediately, kidney and adrenals. Well, no kidding. We can track that in every single case. We then can reach up, we can see thyroids, parathyroids, or we can grab it to the pituitary when you see growth factors changing, how it augments the body and its growth factors. But you have adrenal that controls certain growth factors. We just talked about one, stilbestrol. So getting the body healthy in every way is important. And of course, when you look at this young girl, you know immediately she's got adrenal adrenal and kidneys because her adenoids are swollen and her tonsils are swollen. You got to clean her lymph system so you can get to the cells. Because we're after the cells, no question, but we've got to clean the highway to get to them. And the highway that's blocked in your daughter is the lymph system. Look at the swelling. You can remove them. That'd be a medical thinking, and then compromise your daughter even more, or you can simply clean her out, get her on fruit. She's 7 years old. She should be 90% fruit at this age, or at least 75% fruit. Trouble breathing at night. See, and that, again, this could be up here. If it's breathing, period, then we're back to the adrenals and the autonomic nervous system and the effect upon that. Yes, the parasympathetic and the cerebellum can be involved because you're involved with the tonsils, you're involved with the adenoids, so you have to consider cerebellum and that effect upon breathing parasympathetically. So you have to look both ways. They're connected, sympathetic, parasympathetic, adrenals, neurotransmitters. So real important to work on that whole system there. As a result, we have some behavioral issues and cognitive function. Again, upper circuit and nerve mandatory. At the same time, really get on that and move her lymph system. The one kidney formula, the one lymphatic formula. Start out small with her. Do a lymphatic one. Do a kidney number one. You could do liquids initially. Already compromised, maybe even more. The doctors want to check for sleep apnea. Oh yeah, checker. Well, hello. I mean, put this little girl through hell with all these tests and stuff. What do you need, big guys? It's obvious. You know, you don't need to sit and run this little girl through study after study and bull crap after bull crap, and here's all the money and here's all the crap, and there's nothing they can do in the first place. So you really need to just drain her lymph system, which will drain her sinuses and drain those lymph nodes, and everything, all the swelling will go down. At the same time, you're after regeneration here. You've got a pituitary issue, you've got adrenal issues in this young girl, and you want to correct them now. Absolutely. If I'm not going I am taking all dairy out as best I can. As best you can. And don't let me be too firm with you, Irene, but stop. Not best you can. Stop. Who's the mother? You can't let emotions come in here and tie this. You've got to be the strong one, Mom, and come there and dictate exactly what this girl's going to have. Or you're going to play the game of Russian roulette and all this sort of thing with these kind of wackos here. You want all dairy out, all wheat out. This girl needs to be on fruits, berries, and melons. If you want to do some green drinks, okay. Supplement maybe with some God's blend to power that up. By God, that's all you need. You really need to detox this child first. Or, go ahead and have her tonsils and adenoids removed. You can't just keep compromising the young people because one's scared. You've got to grab strength, all of you guys, and go after this. Those moms don't feel like you're, the medical profession and, I got to do this right. They don't have a clue about health. It's about time you all realize that, and that you hold the key, and as your parents, you've got to grab and get your kids well, or hell to be paid. I mean, these guys will run your little girl through hell, probably already have. I have considered the removal of adenoids. That seems to be the standard procedure amongst parents of Down syndrome kids. Yeah, parents that are unaware, parents that are ignorant and want to remain ignorant. These are souls that remain in the box. All these boxes that are made for all you souls, when you're ready, get out of them, but you're dragging other souls in the boxes with you. So you got to open up these boxes, open up your consciousness, start realizing that you're trapped in creation in a modality. It is the top killing machine on the planet. There is no remedy with allopathic thinking. Get outside of this box, dear one. You wouldn't have written this and sent this to me and watched my site if you didn't have the ability to get out of the box. You've got her so congested now that she's got to go through some cold and flus and fevers and everything else. What are you going to do when that happens? You know, rush her to the ER? I mean, this is the sort of problem that people run into, and moms and dads, man, your kids, if you don't get them, you're responsible for them. Well, medical doctors don't know better. Give her dairy. Who cares? Tonsils out, we'll give her more ice cream. I mean, that was the end thing. Give them ice cream after you remove the tonsils. I mean, that's insane. That's like stepping on a rattlesnake twice. Oh, you bit me once, so try it again. I mean, sometimes it sends me out to lunch, some of this stuff. To give you an idea of how I try to do things naturally as best that I can. Yeah, and I do respect that. I'm sure that you have a husband to deal with, you have family members to deal with, but you're the mama. And mamas have the power to do something about it. And should take the power, grab the power, because no one else is going to. And so mom, grab the power, sweetheart, and get this little girl cleaned out. Probably got the lymph from you, by the way, and you really need to get her lymphs moving, and yours too, Mom. Real important here. Don't mean to be hard on you, but, you know, if you're going to holler about your kid, then you take control and you do something about it. You know, this government, we just got to become strong team and get our kids well. There's a lot of moms going down the wrong road with these kids, and you need to be one of them too, Mom. This is from Myra, and I thought it's a really good case because this is her daughter. And she says, I'm a single mom that is fighting for my daughter's health. My daughter is 16 years old. She has Down syndrome, autism, and global development delay. At age 4 months and 5, she was developing fine. Then she stopped and developed. She got epilepsy. Well, I can tell you right off, what system in your body already is involved with your daughter? The nervous system, right? And so you also have to take in vaccines. You have to take in this whole understanding of neurotoxicity and what that means, you know. And that's on top, all right? That's on top of genetics. See, that's the problem. They're not thinking in that way. Each child that's born has to be the same level of health as the child before it, right? Hospital full of newborn babies, everyone starts out at the same level of health, right? I mean, that's how they act. When you treat everybody the same in that way, we treat everybody the same in terms of herbs, not in dosages. And we treat everybody the same because we're after the human body in its organs and glands, in its system structures. Because with the herbs, you're going to enhance and clean. With pharmaceuticals, you're going to suppress. She was given a Cibril medication. Somebody told me to give her chicken fat. So I melted down and put it in a container and gave her 1 teaspoon per day. Where's we're going with this one? At age 2.5 years, she stopped having epilepsy. I was taking her to Nature Path trying to find a cure. All right, so what's with the chicken fat? Acid, lipids. What is the lymph system? It's a lipid-based system, right? That's your sewer system. So when you get cases like this, we're the first thing you're going to do. You're going to do upper circulation and brain and nerve right off. And I might say probably antispasmodic as well. It depends whether she's having seizures or epilepsy, you know, that sort of thing. You're going to use the antispasmodic, work like Dilantin. It's an antispasmodic. And you could give an antispasmodic every half hour, every hour if you had to. Dosage thinking. Remember, size of the client. But you're going to hit upper circuit and brain and nerve right off. Where else are you going with Downs? Kidney and adrenals, big time. Where else? Pituitary. You're going to hit that. You're going to see the growth factors and understand. Pituitary. You're going to get up in here and start enhancing and rebuilding. And the herbs rebuild. The herbs have the consciousness. We don't know what the consciousness. The herbs have the consciousness to rebuild. Okay, so anyway, at age 6, she started to talk for the first time. And she got interested in books. She knew alphabet. Then after a few months, she was robbed of all of that. She was in diapers until age 10. So we definitely her pituitary is down. So what else is down? Her colon, her GI tract. So you're going into this one, she's 16 years old now, so you've got a pretty good grown person. It'd be interesting to look at the size and everything else, the height and all this sort of thing, but you're going in and you're going to rebuild the nervous system and remove any neurotoxicity that could have been suppressing this young one all these years. And I might add that you're going to be looking at the parathyroid. Now I'll go on here a little bit. 3 years ago, I put my daughter on Cara Rivera protocol. And it helped. I've seen parasites coming, but she hit plateau. She went from ATEC, ATEC 139 to ATEC score 90 and didn't improve more. We tried different diets called GAPS. She was eating even more meat 3 times a day. You know, it's amazing. You have practitioners out there that call themselves healthcare practitioners. I mean, the protein is the first thing that goes besides the milks. I mean, this is the natural health field, is the true natural health field, the one we're in. High protein diets and dairy products are not part of that field. Matter of fact, the true natural health field isn't one that consumes meat. She was eating even more, 3 times a day. I changed her from a semi-fast, so I completely changed diet. No meat, no grains, no pasta, no potato. Now you're thinking, Mom. Now you're getting to thinking. This has been just over 3 months. Oh, 3 months ago, huh? That's not very long. And my daughter is doing better, and she will do better. Everybody does better. You might have some healing crisis, but everybody does better. You see how easy it is? See how this daughter of hers responds real nice when the mom does the right things. So you just have to dig in and regenerate. This daughter will regenerate quite well, sounds like. That the kidneys, the adrenals, the lymphatic system, the endocrine glands, because this is where you're going to really want to work on your daughters, the endocrine glands as well. Because a couple of things, that her growth and her urination problems are all pituitary problems. And of course, growth factors and everything else. And then there's the little old thymus gland that very few people understand either. And your daughter could do some thymus thumping. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see the condition of her thymus gland. And another thing I would do is make sure you go take her to a really good chiropractor and have them look at her neck and her back, all right? Very important to keep that in, and I would work on the neurolymphatic points here. You got to get her kidneys filtering. I wouldn't dry fast her so much. You know, don't overdo things. Matter of fact, I would try to get her away from anything cooked for a while and see if you can get your daughter on 100% raw. Pull her out of the downs, get her body, her endos straightened up, and get her back on a decent life again. We did MRI May 2016, and she was lesions and cysts. Okay? So, no matter what the diagnosis, whether it's Downs, you don't let any of that kind of stuff freak you out, because as you're reading the mother explaining the symptomology of the child, what rings loud and clear? The lymphatic system and acidosis and neurotoxicity, right? Right. That's ringing loud and clear. And you'll see more of this as we go here. And I don't like cysts. Okay, talking about the lymphatic system, lesions, talking about the lymphatic system. She says, I don't like this. Well, it's more than don't like this. This is serious crap. And the more lesions, the more she's going to break down her spine and nervous system. So no, 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 no. And that's all coming from acidosis. Can this be corrected? Absolutely. Not can it. It has to be. All right? No, can it be? It has to be. All right?